Greetings to the world at large. Once again, I come before you with a worthless rant that will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks sometime after Stephen Hawking discovers the light switch inside a black hole. Allow me to preface this rant by saying I am not a drug user. I quit smoking cigarettes 6 years ago, and I only smoked weed twice back in my college days. Didn't enjoy it. I don't honestly get what the big deal is. I don't own a bong. I don't know how to make a bong out of anything, although I've witnessed other people do that, and that is pretty awesome. Marijuana users are very resourceful. If you sit still long enough around them, they might turn you into a bong. It's kind of creepy now that I think about it. Ah, the parties of my youth. Good times. It's not because I believe that there's something wrong with drugs. I don't. It's because, 1, they are slightly illegal at the moment, 2, I can't afford them, and 3, my brain's pretty fucked up already without any help from foreign chemicals invading my bloodstream. However, I consider drug usage as a form of body manipulation. It's not against the law for an informed adult to get a piercing or a tattoo, so it shouldn't be against the law, in theory, to send your consciousness to Mars and back for the day, so long as you pay for the fare yourself. That is, of course, where my idealism breaks down. I mean, if I got a tattoo with my ex-wife's name on it, and I want to get married again, and my fiancé wants me to get rid of the tattoo, I don't go to the government and ask them to pay for it. However, if I'm addicted to drugs and I can't afford to take care of it myself, I have read there are currently processes in place that would help me rehabilitate, and those processes are sometimes paid for by the government. Now, let's avoid the argument of lumping all drugs together. I'm going to dismiss cocaine and heroin and acid outright, or at least reserve them for another rant that may never come. I'm sure others find them therapeutic. I might agree with you on straight LSD under very controlled conditions, but acid, laced with strychnine, let's just skip that. That stuff ain't gonna become legal anytime soon. However, marijuana becoming legal, while President Obama laughs at the notion openly, it's not completely out of the question, which is why I'm ranting, or rambling. California has been wrestling for decades with the issue of marijuana. A lot of people there want weed to be legal, and a lot of people there don't. However, like in most of America, if you really want cannabis, there's a way to get it. The law only keeps people like me from partaking, and I'm very much in the minority. See, in California, it's easier, because although federal law is the same across the country, in the state of California, they've invented a loophole. Marijuana for medicinal purposes. It's completely acceptable. All you gotta do is find the right doctor. We like to believe that we live in a free society, but the fact of the matter is, our freedoms are bought and paid for every day by corporate monolithic monsters that I like to believe in the Book of Revelations refers to as the beast. Not because I necessarily believe in the modern-day evangelical interpretation of the New Testament, but because I find it amusingly poetic. The corporate beasts own our souls. And the corporate beast wants us to coexist together in a lulled state of illusion, where we think we are free to do whatever we want to do, but really we're only free to do anything that will allow us to still show up at work on time and operate heavy machinery when needed. So why is alcohol still legal? Well, have you ever had a vodka martini at 3 in the afternoon? Corporate beasts really love their vodka martini at 3 in the afternoon. When push comes to shove, you can sober up if necessary. Not to operate a forklift maybe, but a breath mint and a glass of water, and you're right as rain. However, if you've been getting high, that's a slightly different story. You might think you're fooling us straight and narrow types, but your eyes are bloodshot, you just laughed at the fern in the corner, and you smell like a Cheech and Chong marathon. People are thinking we need to legalize marijuana. My gut instinct is to agree. Legalize it, let the government, in conjunction with the corporate beasties out there, regulate it. Tax the shit out of it. Our current economic recession, depression, whatever you call it, would be solved overnight, on at least a federal level. However, let's imagine for a moment that you are a drug seller. You don't have to admit it. This is just hypothetical. A friend of mine explained this to me, and I found it an interesting psychological conundrum. You've been selling for years. You don't sell to get rich. You know a guy who knows a guy, and you make it available to your friends at a reasonable cost. Maybe you don't even make any profit, but if you're smart, you can make a tidy one. You believe drugs should be freely available, but they shouldn't be free, and why not make enough money down the side to maybe cover your cable bill? What would happen if suddenly all your friends who come to you for marijuana were suddenly able to go down to the local convenience store? Maybe the price at 7-Eleven is more than it was with you, but there, it's legal. There, it even comes pre-packaged in a cute little box that 1,000 marketing dudes figured out was going to please the buyers more than the cellophane bags you've been using for years. And though marijuana might become legal, it still won't be legal for you to sell it. The corporate beasties will see to that. Why would they want your competition when they already own the infrastructure to sell products to people and they already control the government that makes the rules determining who can sell how to whom? You're out of the loop, man. You will not be able to compete with the corporate beast if it gets its hands on your business. Suddenly you won't be able to pay your cable bill. Will this happen overnight? Depends on how soon the corporate beasties realize it's been letting you make money that it could have been making all this time. This could be the worst thing that's ever happened to the people who have been selling all this time. It won't be illegal to sell marijuana, so major companies will partake. It won't be illegal anymore to carry marijuana, so buyers will no longer need a black market, i.e. you, to help them keep the transaction quiet. And will this be grandfathered? Would all the people currently in jail because they broke the laws in the books at the time be allowed free? Probably not, because the corporate beasties don't want their competition either. But if they were allowed out, wouldn't they be pissed? They'd get out and they'd see that their livelihoods for selling drugs are now in the hands of Kroger's and Walmart. If you ask for a job from these corporate beasties, you won't be able to put "have illegally sold weed for years" on your resume. For the people who have been doing this illegally all this time, the idea of legalizing it is the worst thing that could possibly happen to them. You'd probably be better off being arrested and thrown in jail. At least then you'd get free room and board. You still want to legalize it? Really? You've got to be kidding me. If you ask for a job from these corporate beasts, you won't be able to put "have illegally sold wood."